I cannot believe it. We've seen so much tonight already, and already we're here now between Rip Impact and Brent Banks. This is going to be absolutely amazing, high-flying action. Brent Banks, who is rushed in to sub in for Channing Decker, whose car exploded stateside and was unable to make it across the
Having watched that last match with Xavier Rome and
maybe it was his, maybe that was his car.
I maybe have an idea about that.
Yeah, we do know what it's like to have cars messed up apparently now. But yeah,
got Rip Impact in action as well.
Long-time Hamilton stalwart here in the city,
and a heck of a nice guy.
A heck of a nice guy if you care about that sort of thing. I personally do not. I think he is a yutz. But that's because I can't. I can't turn to the dark side. So what good is he to me? No, here's the thing about Rip Impact. You want a little history lesson on Rip Impact? This is a guy who learned from Ernie Moore, former WWE enhancement talent. Best way to put it. Of course, he's learned from some of the best in Ultimo Dragon and Johnny Devine and so many others from here around Ontario and certainly around the world. The time he spent down in Mexico as well. So, I mean, Rip Impact is a world-traveled wrestler. He just, for whatever reason, this is a kid who just can't seem to catch fire anywhere. Nobody seems to want to sign this kid. But he is one of those great unsigned talents, very much like Al Snow back in the early to mid-'90s.
Absolutely. Brent Banks, no slouch either.
No, absolutely not. Brent Banks, very familiar to people who watch Squared Circle or are familiar with Smash Wrestling as well. Brent Banks is another guy who is making his name across Ontario and former Alpha One Tag Team title holder and Zero Gravity champion as well.
Exactly. Just showing disdain for Rip. Rip rolling through the armhold, though, and reversing it right over, showing years of experience. And
locked in nicely there. I mean, he's got Brent on his side now. That's going to be a little bit more difficult for Brent to pull out now.
Brent coming back up to his feet.
Ref's got to get in there and check that, though. I mean, that
is a legitimate armbar. Trying to take the shoulder out.
Ref's going to ask. That's just my opinion. I mean, I'm a guy who says asking a lot.
And I say let him fight, slaps out of it, and grabs onto the side headlock.
You know, I'll tell you, I am looking forward to beating the shit out of Del Bruno in a little bit. That's going to be a lot of fun.
And again, I'm going to get hung up in the announce booth on my own. That's fine. That's fine.
You deserve it, to be honest. I mean, I have to deal with his greasy ass. So I mean,
Banks showboating, hops over, Rip with the hop over, and.
Nice hip toss
wheel into a drop kick.
Now that was fantastic. I will say that. I mean, say what you will about his Shredder themed tights, but I mean, really, that was a tremendous series of maneuvers there.
And a huge chop to wrap it up. Taking him around the world with the chops.
Absolutely. And this is the thing about Brent Money Banks. I mean, this is a kid who can fly high when he needs to. But he's got the leg strength to be able to lock into some serious submission as well if he needs to.
Absolutely. Reversal into the corner. Rip up and
scouted
over.
That. Yeah, able to get up and over. Now he's going to go off the ropes. No, hip toss? No.
Block the hip toss. Another block.
Reversed again. No. Off the ropes. Rip rolls over. Fall through. Beautiful deep arm drag. Shades of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat into a leg scissors.
Leg scissor Kimura.
Yes.
And a drop kick and a kip up.
But don't ever say that to Scott Steiner. He'll slap the shit out of you. It's a Frankensteiner. I worked on 2 shows with that guy. Don't ever call it anything other than that. He will slap the taste out of your mouth.
Well, if he was here,
assuming you can get him away from his bloody Kleenexes.
Almost everything Banks seems to do, Rip's got him scouted.
Well, that's the thing, is that Rip Impact spends a lot of time watching a lot of tape. This is a guy who doesn't really watch normal sports, doesn't really enjoy football or basketball like many of us do. So this is a guy who watches nothing but wrestling, just constantly watching wrestling.
Needed a stomach from Banks in a second.
Oh,
down to the mat.
And the thing is that he's got those sharp knees because he's got like those long legs.
He's a tall, skinny guy.
Well, he is a tall, skinny guy. He's a lanky dude. But they are sharp knees, I'll tell you.
Rake to the back.
That is a classic.
Showing nothing but disdain for Rip.
I once worked for a guy who told me that if he was ever a pro wrestler, his finisher would be the back rib.
That would be
it shows you really how much wrestling that guy watched. But yeah, just always you'd be having a conversation in the coffee room, and all of a sudden you just come in and be like, if I was a wrestler, I'd do the back rake. Can you not talk anymore? That'd be great. As we get back into the match here,
back-to-back disdainful 1-foot pins.
Nobody takes the air out of commentary like Jeff Goodrich. Rip is on Dream Street now as Banks just buries his shoulder deep into the solar plexus of Rip. Little known fact, Brent Banks not actually related to Cameron Banks.
I did not know that.
Yeah, little known fact.
Reasonably sure that...
I found this out myself. Figured I would let everybody know they are not related.
That is not something that would be common knowledge.
Well, important to mention for those who aren't paying attention. You never know.
Rip rolling off, but stands right back up into a drop kick.
He ate those boots, I'm telling you what, right there. He absolutely ate all of that. I don't understand how Rip's even conscious at this point. This referee really should be asking him, Johnny Turnip really needs to get in there and ask him, hey, what's the story? Can we continue, or are you going to bite the dust?
I'm trying to get Rip back into the game.
He does seem to have that disgusting hometown crowd. Every single time they're willing to clap for him, as though it makes a difference.
Doesn't seem to be making much of a difference in this point.
No, that's because Brent Banks is another guy that I would sign under my tutelage in a moment. I mean, I'd sign Rip Impact if I thought I could do anything with him, but this is the kind of guy who doesn't take advice.
Doesn't take advice or doesn't take advice?
Doesn't do as he's told. Let's put it that way. He wouldn't be able to handle the situation that is my training camps. I mentioned this on my promo. Did you not understand from the interview? I mean, I had Justin in Germany running up and down the Stuttgart hills with boars on his back.
I did see that, actually.
He's
like the second turnbuckle.
He ran across the Holland border to Bastogne and just tore up the woods. I'm gonna level these woods with my arms, he said. All right. Don't get a sliver.
Hard chop.
See, now that's beautiful. I love that.
Eye.
How simple is that? Just a shot to the eye. I would have been the only thing I would have liked better is if he punched him in the throat.
I think that's usually the traditional follow-up to the thumb to the eye.
Well, it can be. It depends on the school of thought.
But yeah, why wouldn't be?
Beautiful mahogany wood at the top
Absolutely.
of the stage. Just want to mention to everybody.
The Church of Pain.
Watching. In the Church of Pain, we have mahogany.
And hardwood.
Yes. Not to be confused with the Billy D. Williams film with the same name.
How terrific would that be?
If Billy D. Williams came to a wrestling show, that'd be fantastic, baby.
Booking of the year.
Yeah.
Hard kick.
Could you bring him in as a pirate?
I think you'd bring him in as an imp.
Yeah. Would you get out of here, you pirate? That's enough Star Wars talk for this match. Rip ducks the D2 and is able to bring him into a Blue Thunder driver. Banks kicks out. Wow. One's got to think that either of these guys with a win in this situation has got to be lined up for a title shot against Carter Mason. I mean, assuming that he can survive actually 6 and that big loaf of dough. That is
going to be a hell of a match later on tonight.
And that big loaf of dough.
At Fringe, at War, which you're watching right now.
We can't talk about that enough, about the literally the fact that Cameron Banks has basically put a bounty out on Carter Mason's head.
That's quite the payout.
For a guy who comes out to Could You Be Loved, I don't think that anybody could be loved any less.
No. And especially taking him up on that bounty.
Wow. Michinoku-style driver, 2.
Only a 2 count.
Wow.
But the man taking him up on that bounty in this case, Ashley 6, that is
well, if
dangerous.
anybody knows about a death sentence, it would be Ashley 6. And I mean, that's a man who was able to escape his own death sentence and now plans on exacting literally his own style on Carter Mason because that money is involved. Just a tremendous thick wad of cash that I saw earlier today. I happened to catch it while I was nosing around in the back.
Yeah, I saw it. And, that's a good payout.
As a loaf of bread, as they would say in an Archie comic.
It's a whole loaf of bread.
Yeah.
And then some. The 905.
Yeah, the 905. I mean, able to drop the 50 cents into the Bell telephone booth. When did it become 50 cents? Jeez.
When did he still use a payphone?
I've been known to duck in and out if I got a change.
Huge
what a
elbow.
savage style elbow.
But only a 2 count.
Not a deep enough cover, if you ask me.
A lot of resilience in
but not a deep enough cover. I really think if he had a really hooked onto that leg, he could have had that. It was 2 3/4.
I'm gonna have to. As much as I hate to, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that.
It happens. I mean, really, to be honest, people tend to disagree with me more often than not, and then they realize that I'm right, and then they have to come back and crow.
I'm just saying, you occasionally make a good point.
90% of the time.
Reversal into the ropes.
Both guys completely taxed at this point. Oh, tremendous high knee right there from Brent Banks. He was going to go for the roll-up there. It didn't quite happen.
I believe he drop-kicked him going upwards.
Yeah, it seemed to be a solid running-style drop kick now. Rip was going to go off the corner. Looked like he was going to climb the ladder, but not quite. Pops him up under the shoulders. Maybe go for the ripcord. Yeah.
And it is. If you can make this pin, this could be
2.
it. 2. And only 2 3/4.
That ripcord got cut, my friend. Your parachute did not open, Bodie.
Crowd in disbelief.
That was
Rip in disbelief.
That is a Point Break reference.
That was. Absolutely. You know what that made me do?
Did it make you fall?
No, that made me like look up in the sky and go no, and just shoot my gun up at the sky in pure frustration. Pure frustration.
Yeah.
Speaking of frustration, Rip going up into the corner. What else has he got to do? Over the ref and does not pay out at all.
He jumped that vegetable turnip and now he's able to. Wow. I didn't see that coming at all. Brent just stole that. That literally, and you know what? For a guy who likes to steal as much as I do, and who really is down for a guy of Brent's, I really enjoy the cut of his jib. But I'll tell you, he stole that one right out there. Rip had more to give, I think. But
I think he did. But that questionable kick coming over the ref.
He requires more tutelage, that Rip Impact. I think that if that's a guy who could really think about the darker side of life, maybe that's a guy who could really do something in this world.
Rip can't believe what happened.